Okay, so I thought to record this while it is fresh. Okay. Okay, so I think today I think I got it. I think it's clear now. It's clear. It's clear why the body is important. Okay. So check this out. So I was seeing this thing with the body, like I was seeing it over and over again, how the body is God. This is how I called it. Like God is in the body. This is God. This thing, the physical is God, man. Like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. So the body is God. Physicality is the essence. It's like it's God itself. So I was seeing this thing about the body, how the body, inside the body, inside the physical body, there is the essence of the truest essence of ourselves. Is like the key of the key, the secrets of the secret. If there would be a labyrinth, if there would be a matrix, if there would be a maze, in which we came, if there would be a game, if there would be something to retrieve, something to take back from this entire experience, if we came to the maze to first do something and then get out. So not only we came to the maze to just get out of it, it's not like a prison break. Maybe we came to the maze to do something and then get out, like the Zeus who went to the maze to kill the Minotaur. I don't remember if it was even something there, but no, it went only to kill the Minotaur, and then it had to get out. So it had something to do there. So if we came to this game to do something, so not only to escape it, I believe that the key for the thing that we came here for, let's say it's a gem, let's say it's a diamond, let's say it's a crystal, let's say it's something quite precious. Let's say it's a pearl, like in the hymn of the pearl, the Gnostic, uh, like in the Gnostic tale of the hymn of the pearl. Let's say it's a pearl, let's say it's something. I believe that this thing is buried, quote unquote, deep within the physical body. I think the secret of the secrets lies within the physical body. I think God is in the physical body. I think the essence of what we are looking for lies within the physical body. Why am I saying that? Because since maybe 7 years back, when I started practicing and when I understood awareness and I understood like staying in the present moment and I understood what that meant, it immediately made me aware, like in the first few moments of just emptying completely my mind and resting as awareness, let's say, I was immediately becoming like immediately in tune with the physical body and the physicality around me. And like there was almost this synchronicity. No, it's not synchron. It's like not like a sort of entanglement between awareness. Awareness felt to be extremely close to physicality. There seemed to be something extremely close between awareness and physicality. It seemed like somehow they blended together at some point. It seemed like awareness blends into physicality at some point, and physicality blends into awareness at some point. And it seemed like at some point, at a really, really, really deep and true level, you can't distinguish awareness from physicality, if that makes sense. So it felt really entangled, physicality and awareness. So when I started to practice staying in the present moment, which is synonymous for resting as awareness, physicality opened up to me in a way, like a marvelous way, in which I can't even, like, I still need to find the words to describe. But even previously, now I remember that even before that moment when I learned this practice of, started to practice this thing of staying in the present moment and resting as awareness, maybe 15 years back or something like that, I remember that there was a moment where this thing like opened up within me, the instinctual movement, the idea of the letting the body to move, to create movements, and letting my body to just move and just completely emptying all my desire to impose over the body how the body should move, what the body should do, what, let's say, what positions of movement, gymnastics or yoga, or just free, let the body completely free to do and express whatever it wants. So this came naturally, instinctively. I wasn't reading anything. I didn't know. It was just an instinct that came to just let my body be. And when I started to do this, I started to do this just like that as a thing for myself, because when I started to do this, oh my god, it's like I found a thing that I can't even to this day describe, the most amount of complete. It's like I felt like in those moments when I would be with my body, and my body would start to flow and move the way it needed. So there was no mind anymore. And now I understand that I was doing this, staying in the present moment even before, but I wasn't realizing that I was doing it. So there was no mind anymore when I was just me with my body. It was just, I mean, there was almost no me anymore because there was only the body moving itself, and me, I was the observer now. I was only the awareness, and I was looking at the body, and I was there holding everything that the body wanted to do. So the body started to move, and as the body started to move instinctually, and in some days, for example, it wanted like maybe more energetic moves and jumping, and other days wanted to just stay slow, and sometimes it just wanted to rest on the ground. Sometimes it wanted to jump, and so it was completely like, how do you say that in English? Unpredictable. It was completely unpredictable, and it was true for this reason. There was no static movements like yoga. You stay like that, or you do that, or gymnastics, or you go juggling, or so everything's imposed by the mind, like what the mind telling the body what is good for the body. So there was no such thing, and in that thing, when I started to do that and enter into that, oh God, how could I even call that? Because it's exactly the feeling of making love. It's exactly like you would be with a physical partner and you would make love. It's even more intimate than most encounters you can find with a physical partner. Like you can find this same type of encounter with the right physical partner. But let's say with most physical partners, you might not find this right match in which both partners can sync to that level, in which they can find this type of physical sync with one another. But when one allows the body to start to move, this enormous type of embodied mm, I don't know if I should call it ecstasy, but it's like it's not, it's like a joyous, glorious power embodied in the body. It's like every cell in the body would have an orgasm, if that makes sense. So you're experiencing a sort of, you start to experience a sort of sync, such a sync with everything, with the reality around, with your body, with the cosmos, with everything, that it feels like the entire body, all the cells in the body start having this alignment, so become so in alignment with everything around, with the physicality around, with the cosmos around, with everything, that they, it's almost like everything is so in tune, is so in sync, is so perfect, like the the most perfect tune, the most perfect sound, the most calibrated sound, that it becomes orgasmic. It's like, and the body, the spirit then, and the soul and the mind becomes extremely rejuvenated by this process, because the body feels so good in its own element, in its own skin. It's like what I found from this process, which I called it instinctive movement, is that in this way one calibrates the two most, let's say, um, seemingly opposing poles of reality. It calibrates physicality, material, matter, with spirit. So spirit and matter become entangled and become aligned and start to vibrate together rather than be out of sync. So when the body starts to move instinctually, what the body will naturally do, if it is allowed and there is no mind there to control it, or to say this movement is wrong, this is shameful, you shouldn't do that, you should do it like that because you want to achieve that, you want to build muscles, you want to do that type of movement, you want to go jogging so you can be healthy. So there is no mind imposing anymore, and the body, if there is no mind, will start to, it's like a plant or a tree, or it's like naturally falling again in sync with everything around, and with, most of all, first it starts to become in sync with the physicality, all the physicality around. So it starts to align itself with the entire movement of the cosmos itself. So it's slowly becoming entangled again with nature and the trees and the plants and the air and the sky and the sun, and then goes, extends outwards to the solar system, to the cosmos, to everything. So slowly, by this, this is the first level. But the body slowly realigns itself with the cosmos entirely. So it basically, when we say the cosmos, we refer to the soul. So the soul and the body start to realign themselves. And then the next level is that by this realignment between the soul and the body, they become one. And then now this creature, this new entity, starts to realign itself with spirit. So spirit is like the organizing principle of the entire cosmos, is that which dictates the tone by which the entire cosmos then shapes itself and dances. So spirit is the one who wills, who brings the tone, and then the soul is the one, the dancer, the one who does the dance, the one who displays outwards what spirit sings, let's say. So then this new entity, the body and the soul, start to become entangled with spirit, which is the divine will, which is the divine song, the word. And they again now start to hear that divine word, that divine will, that divine order, let's say, and they start to realign themselves with that. So then what happens, I think, because I have went to read about it, so I'm just saying what I'm seeing, is like a sort of energy. It's like the body, mind, soul system, the entire human system becomes like a this. I could call it portal, or I could call it perfectly tuned musical instrument, or even like a ship, like something, a device that is perfectly attuned to spirit. And then spirit, what happens is like feels like this enormous type of energy starts running through the entire system. So body, mind, soul system becomes fully energized with life coming from spirit itself. So I started practicing this and I started to feel so, oh my God, like if even to this day, if I would name a practice that I feel it's the most holistic and cathartic, it would be this one. So I've been talking about practicing feeling the feelings, I've been talking about practicing staying in the present moment, but I think this practice of instinctive movement is the one that unites everything into one, is the one that brings all the practices into one, if it's done properly, if it's done with correctly. So there are a few steps in this. You need to be able to stay in the present moment, meaning no mind, and you need to be able to allow your feelings to be felt so they can flow through the body. And because it's your soul, it's your feelings that are starting to move the body, so you need to have all of this together, and then the body starts to move and express itself, and it's like the body becomes an expression of God, or an expression of the joy of living. It's like the body itself is like offering to the divine in that moment a dance. It's like expressing itself, expressing the joy of living, a joy of being uh, incarnated. I don't know how to say, but it's a real joy. And it's not a mental joy, it's not a spiritual joy, it's not an out of body joy, it's an embodied joy, which everything in your body can feel it and recognize it. And that's when, like, the most, if I would name like the most real, true experiences that I felt in this body were those ones. Those ones when I was with my body, that's when I felt I was with spirit. That's when I really felt I was there with spirit. I was making love with spirit. This is how it feels, actually. Now I said it for the first time out loud. So this is how it feels. It's like making love with spirit. You as a physical entity making love with your spirit. This is how it feels for me when I practice instinctive movement, but I truly practice it with zero agenda, zero mind, just letting everything do, letting my body move. So I drop any type of control. I drop the control of wanting to be perfect, of wanting to be spiritual, of wanting to be achieve anything, to become enlightened, to be a good person, anything. And I just drop everything. I just surrender to my body, surrender to my soul, surrender to my mind, surrender to my spirit, and I just become this space. So then the body starts to move, then the soul starts to move as well, it starts to move the feelings, then the mind as well. The mind mostly becomes empty and silent, and finally doesn't have to exist anymore, doesn't have to pretend an existence it doesn't have. And then the spirit starts to come, and they start to dance together. The soul and the spirit start to dance in the physical body. The soul being the male, the soul being the female, the spirit being the male. They start making love in the physical body. The physical body is the act of making love between spirit, the sun, the male, and the soul, the female, the moon. They start making love within the physical body when the physical body is basically attuned, aligned with everything. And it is allowed and it is trusted that it knows what it does. Now, with all of after all this entire introduction, the idea is that I've been practicing this instinctive movement for a while back then, 15 years ago, and there were years, and I was even started to write about it, and I thought to start to create workshops and start to, I don't know, uh, I don't know, teach it to people, just speak about it, invite people to try it. But then I was too shy, so I had a lot of like unprocessed emotions, and I couldn't do it because I had so many insecurities. So my emotions were not yet balanced. I didn't have the courage, and I dropped it. So I dropped it for many, many years, and I would only usually pick it up again when something drastic would happen. For example, if I would have, for example, a cold or a sore in a part of my body, or a headache, or that, but something more intense, a physical pain more intense, I would start going to instinctive movement. And by the way, I didn't mention that instinctive movement cures, basically from my experience, evidences that I had with many, many experiences, just happened to cure physical, let's call it them, they are not illnesses, but physical conditions. It balances the body in such a way that no misalignment of energies can exist. So then everything balances so well that the so-called physical illnesses, or they just disappear from manifestation, because the body becomes so aligned with everything else, the spirit and the cosmos and the soul and everything becomes an entire, like a musical instrument which is perfectly attuned together. So I've tested this in the past. Like, I knew this is true for myself, but I was too shy at that moment to. I wanted to give it to people. I wanted to talk about it, but I just felt like, oh no, I need to learn more. I need to do more in order to, let's say, have the courage, build up on my, let's say, this person here, so it can be able to speak about this, because I was felt so incapacitated. This person here felt extremely, like, a lot of traumas and a lot of shame and a lot of shyness to speak. So I knew that if I would go there with this thing, with instinctive movement, I might not translate it correctly at those moments, and it I would it would it felt like I need to wait. I need to wait until this feels ready to be handed off and shared. So I just dropped it. I just used it when I would need it. Um, Sometime, maybe once in some years or so, and for much time I didn't use it. And then I started to go into feeling the feelings. There were years, the last 5 to 7 years, it was more like I was more into, like, feeling the feelings and staying in the present moment, practicing awareness. So not so much body movement, instinctive movement, and stuff like this. It was much more on the spiritual side in the last 5 to 7 years. So um, today, what happened is that I went in the morning outside. It's Saturday here, and it feels like, okay, it's a much more, like, clear day. Um, like, free day somehow, and I will go and make some chores around the house in the morning. I'll finish them, and then I'll come to the computer, and I had some project to work on. And I thought, okay, let me take some hours to go outside and do some of the things, finish the things, because they were unfinished things, and winter comes and they had to be arranged. So if it snows, it's fine. So I went outside. Done. It's like, took me half an hour. But the last thing that I did is, like, there was this gas tank, because here we use gas tanks to light up the fires on the stove. So we use gas tanks. There was this gas tank, maybe, I don't know how many liters it has, maybe 30 or something, 40, 50, I think 30 maximum. But anyway, so the idea is that that was outside. I had to move it in the house. So I took that thing, take it in, I took it in the house. And what happened is that when I placed it down here in another room, I felt something in my back. It's like, oh, that maybe I extra worked my back, and I should have been a bit more careful when I lifted that up. But I didn't pay attention, so I continued my thing. I went again outside. Everything was done already. Everything, that was the last thing. But there was this piece of, I don't know, wood that was remaining in that was in out outside here, and I thought, okay, let me grab this wood and put it in like a shelter so it doesn't rain on it, and because I might use it for something, who knows. So I just like, I don't know how do you say that in English, when you go down, you pick something. And when I went down, I picked that thing, I lifted myself up again, and then I went to the shelter to place it down. And when I went down again, it's like, man, it's like this electric thing over my back. It came and it was like a thunder, and I couldn't, like, I just dropped to the ground. I couldn't lift myself anymore. Like, I was there. It's the first time in my life like I've experienced something like this. Like, I couldn't move. Like, for some seconds I was almost paralyzed there. So apparently something happened to my lower back when I lifted that gas tank, and then when I went again, I think it's a nerve or something. I don't know if it's something extremely serious, but I couldn't, like, I was there outside, I couldn't move at all. And I thought, like, oh wow, so I cannot move. Like, I tried, and the pain was so much I couldn't move. Not my legs, not even my hands. If I would move them a bit, it would hurt. Oh wow, so I stayed like that, and wow, like my mind was again empty. I knew I had to empty my mind, so I emptied my mind, and wow, like the universe became so close, like everything became so close. Like, I was on the ground, like I could feel the cold of the ground, the leaves, the wet leaves, the coldness in the air. It was so quiet. And I live alone here, so there was nobody. And I felt so, almost a joy. It's like, oh wow, I'm getting to experience this all by myself. So I actually felt, oh my god, what a gift that I'm alone in this. Because if there would be somebody, I would have screamed and, oh, come on, help me. And it's like, but I knew, like, oh wow, I get to experience this. I really get to be here in this experience with zero help and anything. And it felt like, yeah, wow, what a gift. What a gift to be here with my body. What a gift to be here with this pain, with you. And I immediately felt it, like, oh, my presence, my spirit. Yeah, I realized how the entire morning I was mostly in my head. And now it's like I was only there. Me, the body, the spirit, everything I had was in that small world with the ground, the trees. There was nothing else. So, okay, so I stayed there. I tried to move a bit, it didn't work. So I thought, oh wow, so how will I get at least inside the house? Because I think if it's going to, like, pass some hours, night will come and it will be freezing. And so I just waited. Like, I didn't panic at all. I felt the fear. I felt instantly the fear, but I went into the fear. I allowed it. So I was there with my feelings and my body, which couldn't move, with the atmosphere around. And I don't know, I felt mystical. Just because I decided that's the thing, because I could have panicked, I could have started to cry, oh, what this happened to me and I'm all alone. But no, I don't know, just if I emptied my mind, I felt, oh my god, it almost felt on the reverse. It's like, oh my god, this is such a precious moment at this moment. I didn't know how to explain, but it felt so precious that I get to experience this. That I get to be just me, spirit, and my body. It was just my spirit there, and I could feel it, could feel the presence. And it was my body there, and it was me there, and it felt holy, just felt holy. And I stayed with my body. I didn't rush it. I just stayed. I felt. I started to feel the sensations. My mind was starting to rush, so I also observed that. Started to think, oh, what can I do? Should I call my parents, come from the capital city here tomorrow, help me? Or my mind started to thing. But I dropped it. So no, I want to be here with my body. I want to be here with this situation. I want to stay in this. So yeah, I stayed there. I stayed with my body. I slowly started to move a bit. Then I felt the hurt again. I couldn't. Oh, then and I gave up, man. That's what I did. Yeah. So I started to give up. I started to give up. It's like I put my hands on the ground, on the earth. I could feel the earth. I could feel the stones, the wetness of the leaves. Oh man, it felt such a connection. Like just that giving up and just feeling the feelings, the sensations, and how my body couldn't move, and my back stuck like that. And then as I gave up, that's the interesting thing. It always amazes me, even if this happened so many times in the past as well. It's only by giving up that everything seems, in my experience, it seemed to just loosen up and unravel and heal. And just, for me, this was the theme. Like always, it was surrendering. Always, it was giving up. Always, it was accepting and opening. And so as I surrendered to it, I seen that my body started to become a bit more loose, and I surrendered a bit more. And that's just surrendering meant only just being there with the sensations and nothing else, wanting nothing, wanting to not even to move anymore, just being there in that position, there. That, that's all. So then my body started to loosen up a bit, and I was able to crawl, and I started to walk. I couldn't I couldn't lift my body up, so I couldn't stand straight, no way. But I could move a bit my hand, and then I observed how I could move my knees on the ground, and I started to crawl. I started to crawl on the ground, but I did it slowly, so each touch, like I could feel each touch, each coldness of in my hands when I would touch the ground. I started to walk like an animal, like that, very slowly on my forelegs, my fours, I mean, towards the house here. And then I, once I got here, I couldn't lift myself up because you need to like there is like a stairway and you need to, but I couldn't do it. So it was again slow, and I managed to get into the room, and then I put myself on the floor, and then there was nothing, man. It's like just me, the body. I let the body move. Oh my god, man. It was. I didn't know if I could stand up again. I didn't know if I knew my mind was started to think, and it was like, oh, lower back injury, lower back injury. This thing started to appear in my mind. What would that mean? Because I heard like it's like I didn't know how much if it would come back, if it would how much it would last, if, what would that mean from now on, or stuff like this. So, um, but I dropped it. It didn't matter, man. It really didn't matter. Just wanted to be here with my body. I just laid on the floor. And slowly, as I emptied my mind, my body started to make these moves. Started to move the legs in ways I couldn't, never knew how to move those legs like that. My body started to move the legs in such positions, started to play with the legs, started to move the neck, the hands. They just was just there. It didn't had no idea what my body was doing. So my body started to do these things, these movements. The only implications, the only work that I have done is just to be there, present, fully aware, with zero mind. That's my part of the job. Is just to be there with zero mind, to hold that presence, true presence. And I've tried to do my part as best as I could, and my body could start to move. And I think it was maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, I don't know how much it lasted, to just stay there. And slowly, I've seen how, okay, it, it appears like it's a bit more fluid. It appears like there is some, I didn't know if I could stand up, but it appeared like I could move a bit my legs a bit more than previously. So eventually, after staying like that for 40 minutes and just moving, um, I don't know, this instinct came like, oh, I would eat a banana and some chocolate cream, but I don't have chocolate cream, so I would like to go and make some chocolate cream to eat with the banana. But in my mind, like, oh, how could I do chocolate cream? Like, I can't move. so, so yeah. Then I lifted myself. I tried to lift myself, and I saw like, oh, wow. So it works. I can, I can lift myself. It still felt like I need to walk slowly, slowly, slowly. So I walked straight this time. I walked slowly, slowly, slowly to the kitchen. And slowly, slowly, and listening to my body, to each movement. I went to the where I pantry and I took the things, the chocolate bar or the mass and coconut and butter and whatever I needed. And slowly I came, I made the cream very slowly. Each movement, like I could feel my body, my legs, everything. I tried to be as present as I could with my body. And chocolate cream was done. I've brought it here. And I felt to record this because I think I got it. I know now why. Oh, I know now why. Ah, some some people, when they practice this practice of staying in the present moment, aka resting as awareness or resting as pure awareness, I know why some people now, when they start to do this, some people experience, very, very few, I think, people that I've heard of experience this. When they drop their mind, they start to experience the state of bliss. So they come from this level of being in the mind, taking a step back and finding this place of bliss. But these are very rare cases from what I've heard about. What the majority of people that I've personally heard of encounter when they try this practice of staying in the present moment is that they shut down their mind and they take that step back, but all of a sudden they don't find themselves in this state of bliss. They find themselves even in a state, on an opposite state. They find themselves almost in a hell. It's like they find themselves in this place of complete inner friction, stress, anxiety, panic, terror, trauma, unprocessed emotions, bodily pain, because you start to be aware of your body. And all of this, and they get so scared, like it's almost unconsciously scared. They don't know why they get scared, but they can't stand to not think. So they go back to thinking. So this is why the majority of people, I was observing how the majority of people cannot pass through that layer of that hell world, let's say, that was unfolding after they would shut down their mind. And if they would manage to pass through that layer, then what I observed through experience, that behind that layer of hell there is this state of bliss, there is this true state of bliss. But the majority of people would not be able to pass that middle layer of hell. So they would go back to thinking. Now, I think I got it today. It just came to me while I was resting on the floor here. And I couldn't move, and my body was moving, and I got it. Like, there was a moment in which I understood it. I knew why it happens like this. Why it happens like this is that the theory that I saw, so I'm not really sure yet because it's the first time I've seen it. But what I've seen is that for the people who are naturally in their body, when they drop their mind, what happens is that because they are in the body naturally, without even knowing, there are these people who are very physical, who are very in their body naturally. And when they drop their mind, what happens is that they find the awareness of the body naturally. And the awareness of the body means finding that state of that place where spirit meets body, and that it's an entire ecstasy. As I explained it, it's like when the body is fully aligned with the natural world around and with spirit, it's like an orgasmic feeling. And when these people drop their mind, because they are naturally in their body, they get to that state of pure orgasm, pure ecstasy, because their spirit is in their body. Not many of them realize that this is why it's happening like that. They think that they get to spirit, but they don't realize that it's because of the body that they feel like this. But most people, the majority of people here are not physically in their body. The majority of people here are living somewhere in this etheric sphere of their mind. So the majority of people don't have the body awareness. They don't have connection, true groundness in their body, which I don't. Which I am, and I was one of these people. And what happens with people like this that are not grounded in the body naturally by default is that when they drop their mind, what they encounter is not the awareness of the body, but the awareness of their soul, which is this astral. They basically become aware of what happens in their astral body. And the astral body is hell because it's the realm of the soul in which there is a lot of contradictions and wars and traumas, and all these things happen at the level of the astral body, the energetic body, or the soul. So if for the majority of people that are living in their mind, but they are not don't have body awareness naturally, they don't have body groundness naturally, they are not physical by nature. My body wants to oh my god, yeah. Oh, it wants a more comfortable position. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So for the people that are not naturally grounded in their body, where the majority of their life and the majority of their awareness is placed is at the level of the astral. It's at the level of their soul. They are driven by not so much by body, but by emotions and feelings, even if they don't know it. And because their awareness is mainly here in the astral, and they can't stand the astral because who can? It's war zone for the majority of people. Like this entire cosmos is like this because from what I'm seeing, the astral plane right now, it's the only one in which there is a war zone, really. The rest of it, it's fine. The mind could be fine, the body could be fine, but the soul, it's in pain right now. So this entire cosmos, the only pain that exists right now, it's at the level of the soul for this entire cosmos. Um, so the majority of people, because they feel that soul pain, they can't stand it and they go into their mind and they think all day. And if they stop thinking, where they naturally get to, it's the next level where their awareness is mostly at. It's their feelings and the astral body, and there is a war zone. And for the majority of people, they can't handle that. They can't handle that and they get freaking scared. And they go again into their mind. Now, the secret here is that what I'm seeing is that the body is the key. The body is a safe house. Oh my god, I've done even a video of saying this. So the body is a safe house. Find the awareness of the body. Find the body and you'll be safe. You need to ground. You need to be able to come into the physical. Be physical. Be with your body because this is where spirit is. Spirit is nowhere there. Somewhere. No, this is spirit. This is spirit. You can find it here. This is your home. Your body, the body is my temple. This is spirit. Here it is. It waits for you in each second. This is it. But for the people, for the rare people that are naturally in their bodies, which is quite rare in this society right now, these people, when they stop thinking, they, of course, they get to their true nature in their body. Oh my God, it's ecstasy. Of course, it's ecstasy. Spirit is here. Spirit is ecstasy. But soul, war zone. So, yeah, this was it. Find the awareness of the body, and you can find the awareness of the body quite quickly if you practice any type of body awareness practices. I personally, from my experience, I can only speak about with every cell of my being about instinctive movement. This is the one thing that I've personally experienced, and I would only speak about instinctive movement. I would only like, but other practices can also be grounding, anything that can make you feel in touch with the body awareness. Remember that your body has intelligence. Remember that your body has awareness of its own. You don't need to bring awareness to the body. The body is the one who has awareness. You just need to stop keeping that awareness inside your mind, and that awareness melts by itself into the body. Your body has intelligence. Your body has awareness. Your body can think for itself. Your body can do math. Your body has more intelligence than the mind could ever have. Because the mind is only a localized system of thinking here. But the body, imagine, it has cells all over, and each cell can think. Each cell has intelligence. Now imagine a supercomputer that goes on throughout your body. Your hands can calculate, your tongues can create chemical formulas, like synesthesia going all over. But your body, trust it. It has more intelligence than the mind could ever have. It has awareness, it has spirit in it. So yeah, this was what I felt to share today. I don't know. I think it came out a bit lengthy, but